Some more updates on Roman Reigns' WWE status were just released, so we'll take a look at all those reports that are going around. We'll also see what's going on with Bray Wyatt, Sasha Banks, and much more. Let's start things off with this big teaser from Sasha Banks. So, a big reoccurring theme we've been seeing a lot in NXT lately is that WWE keeps bringing some main roster veterans over to NXT to have these mini feuds with some of the upcoming younger talent. Riddle stopped by, AJ Styles stopped by for a bit, Dolph Ziggler became NXT World Champion for a few weeks, and Natalya recently worked with Nikita Lyons and Cora Jade. It's a great tactic for the viewers and for the young talents themselves. These young and upcoming superstars get a taste of what the main roster is like by working with these veterans in NXT. So it's great for their development process. It's also great for the viewers at home because there's this constant crossover surprise for these main roster superstars. So it's great for the fans that are watching as well. So we've seen a lot of superstars head back to NXT in recent months, and there's another big name that could potentially be on the way for an NXT return. This superstar in question is Sasha Banks. Sasha posted a picture to Twitter showing herself sitting inside the new NXT arena with a caption that read, "I'll be watching." That's all the context that she provided for that picture of her inside the new NXT arena, but fans fully believe that this could be a good sign that Sasha could be one of the next few superstars set to return for NXT. Sasha has been talking a lot in recent interviews about how she wants to return to NXT with Naomi to work with some of the tag teams in the NXT women's division. So, that could also be connected to Sasha's picture and what her story actually could be if she returns to NXT. It sounds like it won't be a singles match. It would appear that Sasha and Naomi could return to NXT together for some tag team matches in the women's division, which is a pretty good idea. Last time Sasha Banks returned to NXT was in 2020, where Bayley and herself hung around NXT for a bit and had some great matches. But then, the excuse for Bayley and Sasha appearing on NXT was that the women's tag team titles gave them a pass to appear on all three shows. That's not really the case anymore since NXT has their own set of tag team champions, but it could still potentially set up a tag team champion versus tag team champion scenario for Sasha and Naomi's return to NXT. So keep an eye out for Sasha's big return to NXT. So, what's the deal with the situation of what Booker T and some fans are looking at as a return teaser for Bray Wyatt? Well, this whole situation started at WrestleMania Backlash. There was a fan near ringside that was fully dressed in ring gear of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. That's understandable, even though Bray is no longer with WWE, the Fiend's still an all-time fan favorite character, so it's normal to see things like that. But the part that was unexpected was Pat McAfee mentioning the fan. Pat pointed the fan out in the crowd and mentioned the Fiend by name. Now, of course, Vince McMahon just mentioned Bray Wyatt by name at the Hall of Fame ceremony earlier this year, and that was a big surprise itself. But hearing Pat mention the Fiend's name like that in the middle of a premium live event was definitely something that fans took notice of. It wasn't anything too crazy to lose your mind over, but Pat's comments definitely had fans talking because it's very abnormal to mention superstars by name like that who were recently just released. Hall of Fame member Booker T is even going further with the Fiend mention from Pat. Booker T says that he believes there could be something even deeper behind Pat's acknowledgement of the fan dressed like the Fiend, and how he wouldn't be surprised if Bray Wyatt returns to WWE. Booker T had this to say during his Hall of Fame podcast, quote, "Pat McAfee actually mentioned Bray Wyatt on WrestleMania Backlash. I don't know if that's a signal, a spoiler, or teaser, but normally there's a method to all the madness. Like I said, Pat McAfee mentioned Bray Wyatt on the show last night, so we don't know what's about to happen. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would not be surprised one bit if Bray Wyatt was to show up in the WWE." End quote. So a lot of people are thinking like Booker T, maybe it's a sign that both sides will probably put their differences behind them down the line, and we'll actually see a Bray Wyatt return to WWE. Vince McMahon said himself that no matter his feelings or background with someone, he's willing to put everything to the side to bring anyone back that's best for business. And Cody Rhodes' WWE return is a perfect example of Vince McMahon meaning what he said there. Cody played a lead role in the creation of AEW, took heavy shots at WWE for 3 years, and Vince McMahon still welcomed him back right away because it would be huge for the fans. So a Bray Wyatt return is definitely not out of the question. When Bray had his Q&A session on Instagram, he did say that he couldn't imagine himself staying out of the ring for the rest of his life. So he'll return to the ring one day, but where is the big question there for him? So earlier in the week, we went over Roman's cryptic promo in Trenton, New Jersey, where he told the live event fans that he wasn't sure if he'll be around for the next Trenton live event. It was a comment that rocked everyone, and no one knew exactly what Roman meant. Was he leaving WWE in the near future, or what specifically was he alluding to with those comments? After the live event promo went viral, Roman played into the narrative even more with an Instagram video after Backlash. He mentioned, what if this 6-man tag match was the last time we saw the Bloodline in a match together? He said that maybe he is going somewhere, maybe he's not. So he kept feeding that narrative and left the fans guessing. But several more reports have come out ever since. The first report that dropped stated that Roman Reigns was not booked for any WWE show past June 19th. WWE television and live event shows Roman was booked for neither passed late June. So that caused up another big buzz with everyone thinking that Roman would be going on a WWE hiatus over the summer. But then a conflicting report came out and said that none of that is true. Roman isn't going on a summer hiatus, but that what Roman was alluding to in his now viral Trenton promo was one big change in his new contract. Roman reportedly will no longer be working small market house shows in the near future. Trenton, New Jersey is an example of a small market show for WWE. So that's why Roman said he's unsure if he'll be at the next show that takes place there. That's apparently the only major change in Roman's new deal. He'll be working less of these small city house shows and only appearing at major live event shows. So apparently that summer hiatus for Roman isn't exactly fully confirmed. So that's still up in the air. Hopefully he does end up sticking around because it's definitely hard to imagine those big summer events like SummerSlam without Roman Reigns. So a lot is uncertain there. Looks like we'll have to wait and see next month what happens with those reports of a possible hiatus for Roman Reigns. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.